Hi guys, so whether you're building a new product or you're trying to implement a SaaS platform internally, doing UX research is really important because ultimately, no matter how impressive the tech is, you want to make sure that it is actually useful and it solves a real problem for the end users in practice. Now, there are multiple ways in which you can approach UX research, and in this video, I just wanted to share my top 5 recommendations based on my personal experience. My first tip is that you actually try to learn as much as possible on your own. So looking online, doing some Google searches, maybe if you're implementing a tool internally, you can have a look at internal policies and procedures, which surprisingly tend to be quite insightful. And ultimately, you just want to get to a really good basic understanding of the problem and the terminology that is being used. So when you do get in front of the subject matter experts, you can use that time effectively. So user interviews, I have to say from my experience, getting some face-to-face time with the end users is the most effective way of doing UX research. And the tricky part is that conducting an effective user interview is a bit of a science on its own. And there's really one key thing to keep in mind. Do not let yourself fall into the vanity trap of leading the user into telling you that your idea is great. The purpose of a user interview is to collect as much factual information as possible about the problem, about the user demographic, and about any solutions that the end users may be using today. Look at the facts, not conclusions or opinions, and you will naturally ask open-ended questions. Once you have a solution in mind, it is appropriate to show prototype of that solution to your end users. So I would recommend creating a clickable prototype and then observing how the end users are interacting with that prototype. Depending on how far along you are in the project, you'll be able to validate some of your user experience assumptions. Competitive analysis helps you to understand what's available in the market and what the end users may be expecting from your solution. No matter how innovative your product or approach is, if it's solving a real problem, which hopefully it is, people are solving that problem somehow today. It could be Excel, it could be another product, or it could be using a notepad and a pen, but understanding what you're competing with should not be overlooked. Now, the final point I wanted to make is that as you're recruiting people to have these conversations and interviews, you want to make sure you're actually speaking to a representative sample of the possible end user population. So if you're implementing a tool internally, actually go out and speak with the people that would use that tool. And if you're building an external client-facing tool, make sure that you're not just asking one type of a client, but you're actually considering the total diverse population of clients that may be interested in using that tool. So these are my recommendations. I hope you found them helpful, and let me know if you have any questions, and definitely please share your personal experiences in comments below.